Welcome to the Uncover Your Eyes podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Meenal Agarwal. If you haven't already hit the follow or subscribe button, please do so. Let us know you're listening. It helps us bring you better episodes weekly. Let me ask you something. When someone doesn't make eye contact with you, what story do you tell yourself? That they're not listening? They're insecure? They don't care? They're hiding something? You're not good enough? I told myself all these stories all these years when someone didn't make eye contact with me. But I can't tell you how much eye contact has taught me now about bias, culture, power, and how often our eyes don't reveal reality. They project it. Because eye contact isn't just a visual behavior, it's a social signal, a cultural language, and very often a test of authority. In Western culture, we're taught that good eye contact is very often a sign of confidence, intelligence, honesty, and engagement. Lack of eye contact is labeled as disrespect, avoidance, disinterest, and weakness. But here's the problem. Those interpretations are culturally conditioned, not truths. And when we don't question them, our perception becomes biased, especially in environments where power, hierarchy, and identity matter, like medicine, like leadership, like education. I want to go back to a story that still stays in my head about a patient that I had. So he came in, he was about in his 40s roughly or late 30s, and he had a condition in one eye called keratoconus, which is a corneal condition where his vision was very much compromised and he was basically only functioning with one eye. So I was talking to him about, treatments, and I was very serious because this was a, middle-aged man who had long life ahead of him, and I really wanted him to get better sight and to feel confident, be able to drive, see his kids play, in the park. And I was very passionate about giving him all the therapies and treatment options and what I could do to help improve his keratoconus and his vision. And he was looking down the whole time and avoiding even looking at me. At first, I'm like, okay, do I look funny? Then I'm like, okay, no one else did that. And I actually was getting really upset. Like, are you listening to me? Do you not care? In my head, I was getting upset. I should clarify. But I felt he didn't care. So I was like, why am I going on and on about therapies when you actually don't care about your own eyes and don't actually want to see? And so I reached a point, because I kept going on and on, where I said, are you even listening to me? Do you even want me to continue? And he looks up and he says, yes, I'm just listening to you. I'm actually trying to process what you're saying. That stuck with me. He wasn't disengaged. He wasn't dismissive. He wasn't doubting me. He was actually being respectful and he was listening. And my eyes, my assumptions deceived me. Now, let's layer this with something else, something totally different. I'm Indian, I'm a woman, and I'm short. And when I practice, and when I started practicing, and even now, people actually don't trust me as an authority figure. They go to the front desk and they ask the staff, like, is that the doctor? Is that who I'm seeing? And sometimes they think they're the doctor over me because I don't look like that typical authority figure. I don't wear a lab coat. There's nothing about me that looks like that image that we've built up in our head of a typical doctor. And there was a period I actually wore a lab coat and they started trusting me, I noticed. So I kind of played the part. But eventually I stopped. It got me upset that I had to change the way I dressed and the way I looked. And what replaced that lab coat wasn't arrogance, it was clarity in my mind. I started speaking with confidence. I started explaining conditions and things in depth. I didn't shrink in front of anyone. And something fascinating happened. People started making eye contact with me. Posture shifted. Trust followed. Authority was not in the costume. It was in my presence. Now let's talk about the brain aspect of this and perception. Our brains are prediction machines. We don't just see, we interpret. And interpretation is shaped by past experiences, cultural conditioning, power dynamics, fear and safety cues. And when the brain feels uncertain, it narrows perception. We focus on details that confirm our beliefs. She won't look at me. They don't care. We don't look authoritative. They aren't. This is not objective vision. This is biased perception. And when perception narrows, we lose spatial awareness, emotional nuance, relational accuracy. We stop seeing the whole person. We misread so many things. Silence as indifference, avoidance as disrespect, cultural difference as incompetence. And in healthcare, education, and leadership, that misreading has consequences. We interrupt, we disregard, we dominate, we dismiss, not because we're cruel, but because we're unconscious. So, how do we train ourselves to see better? First, pause. Make sure you take that moment to think, what else could this mean? Second, widen your visual field. Notice posture, tone, pacing, context, not just eye contact. Third, question your own authority reflex. Are you reacting to behavior or to a challenge to your expectations? And finally, lead with curiosity, not certainty. The more power that we hold, the more of an obligation we have to see more clearly. Eye contact has taught me so much. Seeing is not the same thing as understanding. And sometimes the greatest barrier to connection isn't the person in front of us, it's a story that we've already told ourselves about them. There are so many times in life, in clinical practice, with family, with friends, that we make these assumptions because of what we see. And always take that pause, take that moment to think and react more appropriately rather than like me, kind of jumping out and saying something like, are you this or are you that? We need to take that moment and reflect. If this conversation resonated with you, please share this with a friend, someone that you love, someone that you know can benefit from this, because eye contact is such a profound process that starts with your eyes but ends in the brain and with emotions and with behavior. And if we can all understand it better, it can lead to a more empathetic society.